Their journey would take them to Reims, where they would at last pick up the trail of the elusive Baron and his Zeppelin.
So now we switched over to, I don't remember his name. Reims Cathedral. The city of Reims suffered during the war. September 19, 1914, as the Germans retreated from the city, they set fire to the cathedral. Then, as the city was so close to the conflict zone, it was bombarded by zeppelins and cannon fire. During the bombardments, the statue of Joan of Arc in front of the cathedral lost a hand before it was dismantled and stored in the catacombs. By the end of the war, only 1,500 inhabitants were still living in Reims. The home front, with practically all able-bodied men mobilized at the front, women, children, and elderly were employed in factories to ensure weapon production. Women took on traditional male jobs. Some even held positions of responsibility. This new role changed their status in society, and in the wake of the war, women over 30 years old were given the vote. The Women's Institute held its first meeting in 1915 with the aim of encouraging women to become more involved in food production during the war, and the movement flourished. Let's see if we can save this little girl. So she needs help. So now we have to find a way around. Early gas mask. While gas masks were in more widespread use on the front, they were also available to civilians and in French towns close to the front like Reims. They were fairly common. This early model was one of the first, composed of a cotton compress doused in a neutralizing solution and applied to the nose and mouth, similar to the British black veil. Let's look at the diaries. April 22nd, 1915. Those freaking shells nearly did it for me. There's no way I'm giving up so close to my goal. Apparently their leaders, called Von Dorf, I'm going to get him. Everywhere else are just pawns in his game to me. April 22nd, 1915. This morning in Breeze, Von Dorf made us capture some scientists. The army is interested in his work, and apparently he'll help Germany win the war. He seems like a nice fellow, but it's hard to find out anything else about him. Von Gondorf is keeping him closely guarded. Not a day goes by that I don't think about Marie and my little Victor. I haven't seen them for 8 months now. I miss them so much. Alright, so we don't need to go up, we need to go down. I need to get over this, but I don't know how. Maybe I can get the dog. This will help the guy who is trapped upstairs. Still had to carry on. Women took over men's roles in factories and other traditional male positions, working for much lower salaries. Some even held positions of responsibility and were involved in decision making. This new role changed women's status in Russian society. I know I already read that in the larger portion, but it was worded a little different, so I wasn't sure if there'd be something else additional.
What?
Alright, so we need to lower. Alright, so we're gonna give that to him.
What?
He's gonna bring it to that guy.
What? Hey! Hey, Patsy! What? Hey!
Looks like we got a razor. Safety razor. The safety razor was an early 20th century invention. It shaved more safety than barber's blades. More safely. In 1917, the safety razors were standard issue in U.S. soldiers' kit because it had been noticed that gas masks provided more effective protection to shaved faces because it caused a better seal.
What? Hey, what? Patsy! What? Hey, Patsy! Allez. What? Allez.
Merci beaucoup.
Compris.
Oh, merci.
Let's see if I can save that there. It's gotta be like on the end down here. Maybe I do it later, or maybe it doesn't happen at all.
Emile.
Okay, so we need two people. Let's see if I can get that two people out.
What? Vas-y. What?
Active Service Paybook. A paybook belonging to a British soldier. It also contained practical details such as the last will and testament form, as well as the name and addresses of close relatives to contact in the event of death. The book also served as regulations guide to good conduct, advising men. In this new experience, you may find temptations both in wine and women. You must entirely resist both. Yeah, but it's got a really good story.
Anna was training to be a veterinarian when the war broke out. The Germans were only 20 miles from Paris when she received a letter from her father. He was in good health, but implored her not to return home to Belgium until the war's end. Patience, however, was not one of Anna's strong suits.
September 6, 1914, Paris, France. The Germans at the gate. In September 1914, the German advance took them to within 20 miles of Paris. The government had already fled the Bordeaux and was expecting Paris to fall. In the north, most of Belgium was occupied, but under the king's command, 75,000 soldiers kept it Brie and Sur. Maybe it's, I don't know, I think it's Brie and Sur, out of German hands. September 6th and 7th, 1914, General Gallieni requisitioned 630 Parisian taxis to support troops rapidly to the Marne. While relatively few soldiers were actually transported, 4,000 in all, 3% of the total number of men deployed in the battle. The impact on the public was huge. The event became a symbol of solidarity for the nation, and the Marne counterattack saved Paris from German occupation. So I don't think I can get those birds yet. Now we can. We're supposed to go over the key point. pens were not developed until 1950 to 1960s, so soldiers used a quill or nib to write letters. Ink was poured into an inkwell, into which, in order to find enough ink, the quill or nib had to be dipped regularly. Letter from Belgian civilian in Paris. Dear parents, we fled our land before the German advanced to take our shelter in France with the children. Unfortunately, the Germans kept coming forward, and Paris is practically under siege. If Paris falls, we shall return home to Liege. Your dear daughter, Mathilde. Broken watch strap. A watch strap broken by a motor crank handle before battery ignition was developed. Motor cars were started by cranking a handle. As the engine sparked into life, the operator had to let go of the handle smartly, because the crank handle, now propelled by the engine, could start a nasty accident. Newspapers. The main source of information was the newspaper. Radios were in their early days based on tube technology, and television did not exist. On top of local and national news, a news section appeared in the newspapers dedicated to the events on the front. Some newspapers also published daily listings of POWs, prisoner of war, and war dead. So we have a arrangement She needs a medic. I'm coming.
Allez. Va mieux?
I keep turning.
Allez, courage. Courage.
Merci, madame.
Thanks for the bottle. I need it. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, this one.
September 7th, 1914.
Asking if I speak.
Taxis drove all night. Anna was proud to help the soldiers reach the front line. When Anna arrived at her destination, she discovered the horrible truth with her own eyes.
So I guess we're on September 7th, 1914. Mark Fritz.
Vas-y. Non. Dépêche-toi, dépêche-toi. Hé, hé. Oh non. Courage, Nico.
So he reset his leg.
Allez, courage. Ça va mieux.
Probably dislocated or something.
Dieu vous bénisse, Madeleine.
7 months. Driven by compassion, Anna devoted herself, body and soul, to healing the wounded and the sick. Every life saved was another small victory over the war. The conflict, however, raged on.
Shrapnel shell remnants. Shrapnel shell remnants, a shell containing lead bullets. Depending on its settings, the shell might explode on contact with the ground, sending its contents flying, or in the air for even more destructive results. April 22nd, 1915. Pre-village.
Scotero.
Yeah, we need help down there. There's 3 people we need help. The middle guy just looks tired. Alright, so I guess this is the only new update. September 7th, 1914. The situation is horrific here. Yesterday I was in my warm, cozy apartment, and now I'm in the depths of hell. There are so many dead, so many young lives lost. I managed to save one soldier this morning, but there are so many others to tend to. Tomorrow I'll try to get closer to the front so I can help those in need. The Hecatomb. The first 3 months of the war saw especially heavy losses. August 22nd, 1914 was the bloodiest day of the whole war, with heavy casualties. The number of wounded were far greater than had been anticipated, and the military health services struggled to cope with the scale of the conflict. Nurses were the angels of the Great War, and were generally volunteers recruited by the Red Cross, the Army, or the American ambulances to work long, grueling shifts in hospitals both at the front and behind lines. They played the role of wives. They played the role of carers, mothers, and confidants. They often feature in soldiers' memoirs and were sometimes their sole companion in death. The majority were demobilized at the end of the hostilities. So we need like an axe or something. Nurse's Manual. The war effort suddenly required a larger medical corps, and there were not enough qualified personnel. So manuals were published and distributed to help volunteers train. The manuals provided a whole host of practical solutions to logistical and medical problems at the front, such as how to make a splint or stretcher using rifle and their straps.
So,
we have an amputation.
hey, pardon.
Tallow socks. Socks soaked in refined tallow and coated with formol. The most effective way to beat the cold and damp, frostbite, and other ailments. That, at least, was what the adverts had people believe. However effective the socks were, the soldier's best friend was always a nice dry pair. So they used to soak their socks in something so they wouldn't get colds. I don't know what either one of those things were.
Hé, oh. Non. Dépêche-toi, dépêche-toi. Hé, non, non, non. Voilà,
So he's thanking us for amputating an arm or hand or something. So we can use this saw. Okay, so we need some water. Mess tin with holes. Both dishes of the mess tins have holes in them. Not hugely practical for eating, perhaps, but life-saving for one soldier. The mess tin bag was worn at kidney height. When the shell exploded, this mess tin slowed down the searing shrapnel in flight, which, although it wounded the soldier, helped him live another day. Mess tins were blackened using smoke to prevent them glinting in the sunlight. Because if it glinted in the sunlight, it would give away their position. Letter from a Prussian soldier. The 6th of September, 1914. My dear daughter, we are making headway through the French countryside. The landscape is beautiful. I'd much rather be enjoying it with you than killing people. I think of you all the time. Your father, Wolfgang. Okay, so where am I gonna get a splint?
Dans la château.
We also need a cross. So we have to set his arm in
Voilà, ça. Courage, Nico.
We can use this shovel or something, but I'm not sure what. Lysko. In their journals, soldiers often recount their losing war against lice and rats in the trenches. Apart from lice powder, the only other prevention against lice was this fine-toothed metal cone. Often when soldiers took leave behind the lines, they were scrubbed down with hot water, their clothing boiled, or a new uniform issued. It looks like we lost our scar. We have to go help that guy out. I was expecting something else to be down here. Maybe you had to take it for it. So it looks like we're pulling the boat out.
Courage, Nico. Voilà, tiens. Allez, courage.
Hey, guarda. No, j'en ai besoin quand on les
The French officers were talking about Belgium. The German army was about to experiment with a new weapon near Ypres, Anna's hometown. Anna got en route to warn her father about the imminent danger. Reaching the outskirts of the city, Anna was greeted by the screams of sirens. Deadly gas was already here.
So was the gas the new bombs? So it's Ypres. I was way off. I figured I was, but I didn't know. Ypres, a town in ruins. British troops due to its difficult pronunciation. The Belgian town of Ypres was a key strategic position during the war. A hub for road, rail, and canal networks, it became the target for sustained bombing from 1914. In 1915, the Germans even used chemical warfare on the town. By the end of the war, the majestic cathedral and town center were nothing but ruins. Technology at work. We got a trophy, knowledge is power. Technology at work. In the wake of the technological advances of the early 20th century, the vast scope of this industrialized war brought developments in all fields: aircraft, submarines, dirigibles, and tanks. Great progress was made in the fields of medicine, surgery, and medical hygiene, and radiology, thanks to Mary Curie's, I think it's Madame Curie as well. That's what she was named for, whatever. Mary Curie's work, who took thousands of x-rays of the wounded. So she's looking for her dad or her brother. Letter from a Scottish soldier, 19 April 1915. Hello, pal. I'm here in the town of Ypres, in Belgium, a pretty wee town that must have been raw before the war. The beer, too, and bad. I'd much rather be downing ale with you, though, broy. I'm off to the front in 2 days. Take care of yourself, and say how to the family. John McCormick. If I could get in through the window, why didn't she try to get out through the
Voilà, Sia. Allez, va mieux. Courage, Nebo. Courage. Merci. Oh.
So she gave me a wooden top. Wooden top with string, a common toy of the age. During the war, toys gradually became more war-based. Through board games, children could fight out famous battles, while other items ridiculed the enemy. After the war, toys and games became more pacifist once more. So that was her mom. I thought it was like a younger boy, like a teen.
Oh, petite, ni papa, c'est pas trop.
So it looks like we're missing cogs.
Merci beaucoup.
Broken walking stick. The knob is all that remains on this walking stick. The stick has been carefully sculpted as souvenir of the trenches. Unfortunately, a broken walking stick is of no use to anyone. Latrines were generally housed outside in the yard and homes of all social classes, so during the night bedpans were used. In well-to-do households, servants were charged with emptying the bedpans. That would suck. So I'm guessing that means the second place is 6, not the number 2 6. So we need a key. We also need a way to get up there. There's gotta be a way up there. So 4, 6, because that said 1, 4, so 4, and then 6. I never would have thought of that. I just hit it randomly, trying to get to the floor below. I'll come back for you, lady. Stereoscopic camera. A camera that captures 2 simultaneous images on glass plates, enabling relief images. Use of a camera was relatively widespread so the device was small and readily transportable. Equals 4HCl plus O2. So is that water and chlorine? Creates hydrochloric acid and oxygen. I'm not sure. This formula is the description of what happens to soldiers' lungs when they inhale chlorine gas. Chlorine gas reacts with water and the lungs produce hydrochloric acid, creating horrendous burns. So yeah. Okay, so I wonder where this goes. I don't remember seeing a lever spot.
Voilà, bien. Voilà. Courage, Nico. Allez. Pas mieux.
The governess revealed to her that her father, an eminent scientist, had been kidnapped by Baron von Dorf, who was eager to use scientific advances in warfare. Anna set out in pursuit of the Baron and encountered Emil, Freddy. Destiny brought them together. They had survived the enemy's wrath, their gunfire, bombardments, gas attacks. Now, with her father within reach, Anna wasn't going to let him slip away.
Stop, master! Vous avez venu, bravo!
So you're saying we're not allowed to be here Virgin Mary statuette and case. A case containing a statuette of the Virgin Mary, another example of trench art. To overcome their boredom, soldiers would set to work transforming anything that came to hand. Unexploded ammunition, empty cartridges, and shell debris were all turned into day-to-day items and put to a more pacifist use.
Oh, mais là...
Vas-y. Non, 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 non. Courage, Nico. Voilà, ça. Pas mieux. Allez, courage. Courage, Nico. Voilà, c'est bien.
Oh, mais là...
Pas mieux. Allez, courage. Allez. Voilà. Ok.
Danke.
Albert!
Ik weigerte Asta dabei. Hey! Achtung! Bleu! Der Gypsy!
Life and death of the Zeppelin. The Zeppelin was effective at the start of the war, and in 1915, London suffered over 50 Zeppelin raids before the Royal Naval Air Service intervened. The craft's weak spot was obviously its hydrogen-filled balloon. Hydrogen is lighter than air, hence its value to aviation. However, it is also highly inflammable, and the slightest spark sent the craft plummeting spectacularly groundward into a ball of flame. Of the 92 craft that were used during the war, 68 were destroyed. Facial disfiguration. By 1918, there were 20 million war wounded. All countries included. Roughly 70% of injuries came from shrapnel, and only 1% from bayonets. Facial injuries could result in having a jaw, nose, or eyes removed, but progress in surgery saved and patched up many victims of facial disfigurement and amputation, of which there were 200,000 post-war. is untenable. Don't worry, I'm still in good health. We're gonna leave the Reims to the enemy. Reims is a beautiful city. I hope all is well at home, and you are taking good care of our parents. I hope the prisoners are working properly for you. See you soon. Siegfried.
Yeah. Hé, allez, va, ouais. C'est bien.
Hey, what? What? Whoa. Hey, whoa. Whoa, get away. Whoa. Go, get out of here. What? Hey. Yeah, boy. Good boy. Whoa, go now.
Oh, shoot! Bon chien.
Good boy.
Merci, mon ami.
Thank you, my friend.
Ça va aller, allez. Emile? Non!
Victory had a bittersweet taste for Anna. Carl, seriously wounded, had been sent to a POW camp. Anna's father had disappeared with Baron von Dorf, and Emil was court-martialed for desertion. Cited for his bravery in Reims, Emil was fortunately pardoned and set free. Free to go back to the front. February 1st, 1916. Winter had descended on the front. After joining back up with the army, Emil and Freddy were stationed near Verdun, suffering like many others from the harsh winter. That morning, the arrival of the mail raised spirits, but Marie's letter did not bring good news. In Saint-Mihiel, food was scarce, disease was rife, and the number of dead was growing. Out of this grim news, however, there was one ray of light. A photo of his grandson, Victor, standing on both feet and learning to walk.
Don't worry, Frank.
February 21st, 1916. Verdun. Tobacco case. Tobacco case was made from shell casing. Empty munitions were often recycled. Some exploded shell materials were already aesthetically interesting. Otherwise, soldiers would rework their finds to create handy items. Tobacco was precious, so soldiers were eager to keep it dry. Many accounts from the trenches express soldiers' appreciation of the Christmas cigar, a special festive treat for the troops.
You don't.
Sucks for ink.
Oh.
And we can cut some greens. I hope it doesn't get too loud, but they're mowing right outside my apartment complex. Card game. Days in the trenches were long, and to overcome their boredom, soldiers would play cards, read, write, and create objects from materials they found. The Germans played Skat, the French Mani, and the Allies Brag or Pontoon, amongst others. Maybe we need wire cutters.
What?
Bloody?
I thought he was looking for found something. Okay, so we have a few. June 15th, 1915. I'll never be able to thank Anna enough for saving Carl after the Zeppelin crash. Knowing that he's no longer at the front and that he's a POW has put my mind at rest. I'm so relieved he's safe from harm. I hope Marie is doing okay in St. Miel, despite the German occupation. I don't know if I'd feel better having him as a POW though. June 15th, 1915. How much luck can a guy have? There's this huge cathedral here. Makes me think of you. They sent me back to the army. It's not going to make my search any easier. June 15th, 1915. I was so frightened when I saw the Zeppelin crash today. Fortunately, Father wasn't on board because the Baron had already taken him away by aircraft. I managed to save Emil's son-in-law before they sent him to a POW camp. His legs were in a critical state. I'll be going with him to make sure he's alright. I guess we missed one. Another endless day. For every life saved, there are many lost. These poor young men, mutilated, disfigured for life, I cannot abandon them, even if all I can do is hold their hands as they slip away. Father has been captured by a German regiment and taken away in a Zeppelin. He who is scared of heights. They probably know about his research. Please, Father, don't try to be a hero. Work for them. I don't want to lose you. I'm on his trail, and these two soldiers I met are after the Zeppelin as well. June 21st, 1915. As he grows, Victor reminds me more and more of Carl. Not a day goes by without me thinking of him. The Germans are requisitioning all our crops. Requisitioning. There must be food shortages in Germany. I managed to hide some for the winter. I can't wait for this stupid war to end. So we have a lot on this time. Feeding soldiers at the front. Supplying millions of men at the front with enough food was a logistical nightmare. The diet was mainly composed of bread, rice, soup, and sometimes meat and dried vegetables. Food parcels from home were ambrosia for the troops. British soldiers had a ration of a pint of wine and a third of a pint of rum every day. One of the soldiers' fatigue duties was to go behind the lines. Sorry, it's a loud motorcycle, I think. One of soldiers' fatigue duties was to go behind the lines with containers to fetch their company's rations. Sometimes food did not reach the front line, and infantrymen could go without food and drink for several days. 18 months later, in over 18 months of combat, the front barely moved. As each side dug in and tried to claw back enemy positions, the war of attrition turned 1915 into the bloodiest year, and civilians became hugely affected too. By late 1915, shortfalls in human and food resources began making themselves felt, while ammunition shortages were especially problematic. Barbed wire. Invented in 1874, barbed wire was already a common feature of trench protection and battle, but with the Great War's onus on trench warfare, it became widespread. Thousands of tons were deposited in no man's land. Both sides sought tools and strategies to overcome barbed wire, such as grappling irons and wire cutters. Intensive bombardment was deemed to be the most effective method, and the tactical became widespread. Dead soldiers Putrefying on barbed wire remains one of the enduring images of the war, a powerful symbol of its violence. Verdun. Triggered by the Germans at dawn, February 21st, in the aim of penetrating Allied lines, the battle eventually lasted 300 days. Some key positions changed hands several times before the French finally prevailed. The battle produced the highest concentration of casualties, with 600,000 killed over 61 square miles, i.e. one death for every 311 square yards. Military decorations. Britain had 6 war medals, the most issued of which were the British War Medal, the Victory Medal, the 1914-15 Star, and the 1914 Star. 6.6 million British War Medals were issued, 5.7 million Victory Medals, 2 million 1914-15 Stars, and 365,914 Stars. A combination of the Star, Victory Medal, and War Medal was fairly commonplace. Over 2.5 million trios were issued, and earned the nickname Pip, Squeak, and Wilfred, after the popular cartoon characters in the Daily Mirror, a dog, a penguin, and a rabbit, respectively.
Non, toi, pas de temps.
What? Is with a plate. We have a bread line.
Pas de brignol pour toi, le bigonneau. Pour toi, voilà.
Oui.
Okay, so we're gonna see if we can put this in the pan. If not, it's not
What?
So I guess we're gonna go over here and then go back. So maybe we can put it better. Yeah, that's right, because we need the ink.
What?
So we need some. Where are we gonna get some? Oh, there's one. So we need to clean it. And I guess we're gonna do it in the dishes, which is... Why would you do that? Okay, now it's nice and dry.
Oh,
We got the...
My dearest daughter, I heard from Carl. His condition is stable. He is still in the prisoner camp south of Reims. I hope to finally get permission to visit him. Thank you for the photo. It means so much to me.
I looked off screen for once.
it's the cut.
Brazier, a helmet with holes in it, filled with coal and wood and used as a brazier. The item would have afforded some protection from the cold. Although helmets were made of metal, they only offered scan protection from bullets.
On bouge pas.
name Cinemas. I'm having trouble talking. Synonymous with a journey into the unknown when soldiers surged out of the trenches and into no man's land.
Les gars, kom igen nu! Goed!
Letter from Denison, the soldier. February 21st, 1916. Dear Father, dear family, I am cold. The land we are defending is frozen and covered in snow. The ground is so iced up, it is harder than rock. We cannot dig. The cold is so intense that my hands are burning. I hope everything's fine back in the village, and you are still receiving half of my pay. Tell me if you aren't. Ahmed.
Enemy cannon!
Guide me! Archie!
Get my bubble!
Courage, boy! Tangue vai!
Ready!
Okay, just want to make sure that I wasn't missing anything.
Merci,
Your horses.
Hey, what?
I need that grenade. Bullshit. Save. I think we're trying to get this down. Let's see. I think we have to get these loaded first. Just to the right of the trees. The trees right there.
Emil's precision cannon firing enabled Freddy and his regiment to reach the rear line unharmed.
Bravo, Freddy! Emil, thank you very much, my friend.
The military hierarchy heard of their feats in battle and decided to decorate the two friends for their bravery. Emil received good news from Anna. Carl was recovering nicely. He was even walking again. Meanwhile, the battle for Verdun only grew longer and bloodier. The death toll was staggering, 70,000 per month. Almost one Frenchman and one German every minute, and it went on for 10 months, day and night. May 8th, 1916, Emil's squad was sent on a mission to take back Fort Douaumont, a strategic point in the German defense.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Okay, so I guess you can only use okay, so this one's safe.
What? What? Don't touch me.
Fort Duhamel. Duhamel was one of the symbols of the Battle of Verdun and was exploited by both camps for propaganda purposes. The Germans seized the fort in February 1916 before it was seized back by the Allies in October 1916 with heavy losses. In the meantime, the fort was damaged by a huge explosion which killed almost 800 Germans inside. Rather than the work of some valiant heart, the explosion was caused by a neglected stove. The ensuing fire spread the petrol and ammunition supplies. Flamethrowers. The Germans were the first to use flamethrowers in an assault on previously held position in July 1915. Although the attack was expected, the use of the weapon came as a surprise and caused a large number of casualties. Its psychological impact was huge, but British troops soon learned to cope with these slow-moving operatives, lugging heavy equipment, and did not adopt the weapon themselves.
Hey, what?
What are we going to achieve doing this? Or maybe you run out of fuel.
Allez, vas-y. Don't stürzen!
Bubenhannchen, ne?
Emil!
Empty wooden chest. An empty wooden chest used as luggage by a German soldier. Suitcases were not widespread, and poor soldiers left for war with their affairs in a knapsack or in wooden crates. So I don't catch these on fire.
What? 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 Yeah. Hey, what? What?
Alright, we'll try sending the buff up there with that, but I'm afraid he's gonna get hurt.
Hey, what? Hey, my boy.
Alright, I guess not.
What? What?
Okay, let's try.
Hey, my boy. Hey, walk.
Where are you going, Bob?
Oh, good boy. Direkt vor! Get out of here.
A gas stove for warming food or heating a room. Not always the most practical heating appliance to use when trying to heat a flamethrower fuel depot. German ring, an iron ring bearing the inscription Gold gab ich für Eisen, offered in exchange for some precious item as part of a program to finance the German war effort.
Sauhaufen! Kein Pardon! Los, 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 los!
Anything up here? Guess not.
Kavime! An den Wurzeln! Knipp an den Wurzeln! Schwung ab, der
his father's latest invention, a four-stroke engine that's quite some machine. What on earth is it?
Despite the fort's partial destruction, the Germans held their position. The mission was a failure.
Alright guys, we're gonna end it on finishing chapter 2. We'll start chapter 3 next time, and
My darling,
I'm not sure if there's 2 or 3.
war has...
I'm not sure if there's 2 or 3 3 or 4 chapters. So, well, the next chapter may be the last one, but I'm not sure. So, I hope you guys are enjoying. Like I said last time, the story gets better the further